Well, hello there, beautiful souls. We are back at it today on another adventure. If you choose to go on this mission with me, I'm going to go check out Mabry Mill and share that little area with you. Maybe stop and get a sandwich. It's beautiful today up here on the beautiful parkway, and I just wanted to share this with you and tell you that you are divinely protected and you are divinely blessed. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can keep it on the road today. Remember, the goal is not to end up in a ditch. Before I get some proper equipment to do this, it's kind of sketchy if you know what I mean, but oh well, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make the most out of it. Woohoo! Driving, I'm just enjoying nature and everything around me, and it just made me think about how much gratitude I have for my life and for the protection that I have. I've got to tell you, some of the stuff I went through, it was nothing short than the hand of God, you know, holding me while I was sick, and then being protected by my ancestors when I dealt with these really shady people. You know, it's funny, my grandmother and grandfather Thompson, they're always kind of represented by cardinals, and I was sitting outside this morning, and in my dogwood tree there was actually 3 cardinals, which was really interesting, males and females eating the berries off the dogwood. And then I got a message from my Uncle Jeff. Shout out to Jeff, I love you, brother. But he is very close to me. I grew up with him more like a brother than I did an uncle, because we're only 3 years apart. But for the people that have passed before us and is transformed back into their light bodies, they're not gone. They are still assisting us. They are very, very active in our energetic field. And I have had some of my ancestors identify themselves personally when I was going through something difficult, where they kind of came in and had my back. Shout out to Uncle Bobby and Uncle Dale, 2 of my uncles on my mom's side that used to call me C and CC, because you know my 3rd dimensional name is Cindy. Before my 5th dimensional name, I recognized that timeline and adopted Zyra. So they used to go C and CC, and they identify themselves in that way. I know exactly who's contacting me through that veil. And so I don't know, I was just driving and I was like, I'm so happy. Like I'm at a point in my life probably happier than I've ever been, even as a teenager, although my horse years were pretty happy years, I gotta say. If I'm on a horse, I'm happy. But just count your blessings, you know, even if it's little stuff, even if it's somebody dropping off some milk or putting $5 of gas in your car, or calling you up and saying, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while, how you doing? Or someone sending you a happy birthday that you hadn't heard from in a while, you know. Be conscious of the little things and give gratitude for those things, and Spirit hears that gratitude, and what you put out, you get back, right? As above, so below. So when you give out gratitude, guess what you get back? Gratitude. You get it reciprocated to you, and that comes in abundance. So just a little side note there today. You know, I got to get my spiritual chit chat in here somewhere. But all right, we're almost there. Hang on. all you beautiful cosmic souls. Thank you for joining me at Mabry Mill. This is Mabry. Rural life in Appalachia. Down this path you will find buildings, farm implements, and other displays that document rural life in Appalachia over a period of about 100 years. Most were restored and arranged here during the 1940s and 1950s. These displays illustrate aspects of mountain life that were colorful, but not unique to Appalachia. If you grew up in other areas of rural America, you may recognize some of the things you encounter. I know some people here say it's Appalachia, so I'm screwing that up. 33 on the timer. 33 is a master number, 33 vertebrae, 33rd degree, you know what'sers. So yeah, let's check her out here, dude. 33, very relevant. That's Ascended Masters. So surreal. Gosh, it's beautiful. All right, well, here we are, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty quiet today, a little brisk. This is a nice little place to visit on the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's I'd give you the mile marker number, but I'd tell you wrong right now. So, all right, let's see what else we can get into here, okay? So I found a stabilizer setting on my phone that I didn't know I had, so yeah, hopefully it's better. All right, we've seen that sign already. Follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road. All right, I'm gonna very slowly. Hear the hawk in the background? I have a messenger already. This place honestly reminds me of Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts. Those of you from up north, my family, I'm originally from Connecticut. That used to be one of our field trips, was to go to Sturbridge Village, and I loved that field trip. I'm gonna try to walk, talk, and chew gum. So where I grew up in Durham, Connecticut, very small agricultural town, dead smack between New Haven and Hartford, basically. Not a lot of people, but we grew up on a farm. We hayed, we had white-faced heifers, pigs at times, vegetables, just acres and acres. We planted every season, we harvested, used to go out and sit in the middle of a 2-acre strawberry patch. Shout out to my brother Ralph, who used to eat so much he used to get sick, and if I'm telling a secret, he used to hide quarts of them underneath his bed and he'd forget about them, and then they'd go rotten under there and be all moldy and nasty because he loved the strawberries so much. Love you, bro, in all your uniqueness for sure. So yeah, and one of the highlights though, one thing I loved every year was that we made maple syrup. We would tap the trees, my grandfather and my father, and they'd have this big pot down there that they would boil it down. It would be going for days. The whole neighborhood would smell like maple syrup. So I have a lot of fond memories of growing up on a farm. Like, I am so blessed for that too. And you know, horses became such an intricate part of my life very early on. Obviously my Cherokee ancestry coming through there. I had my first Shetland pony at age 4, little white She was a shit. Her name was Misty. And one time my Aunt Brenda was on her back riding her when she was pregnant. And Misty took off across the yard with my Aunt B on there with her screaming. Hi hell. Shout out to Aunt B. I'm shouting out to my family now because you guys are probably going to start seeing these videos come around. But yeah, very blessed. Had a very, very wonderful childhood in a lot of senses because of growing up the way we did. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. So let's see what we've got here. I'm absolutely going to mess up this word, but it says sorghum making. Making sorghum molasses became popular during the Civil War when supplies of sugar and corn syrup were interrupted. The practice continues today in many communities where the sweet smell of boiling sorghum can be enjoyed in the cool October air. Okay, so I can relate to this in a way. So this is a cabin again, just like Puckett's cabin, still standing, 200 years. And let's learn about these Appalachia houses here. More than a century ago, log cabins were a common sight in Appalachia and in other rural areas of the eastern United States. For all you, did you hear that? I said Appalachia. You should be proud of me. Samuel and Elizabeth Matthews built this cabin near Galax in 1869. Made largely of oak, it has one room on each of its 2 floors. Over time, the family installed a wood stove and added a bedroom, a metal roof, and weatherboarding. In 1956, Matthews' cabin was donated to the National Park Service. Workers carefully restored the structure to its earlier appearance and moved it to this site. Because there were many small sawmills, frame houses were also common in Appalachia. The Mabrys built their home on this site about 1914. They used boards and chestnut paneling sawed at their mill and workshop. You guys, I want to show you this. Look at this tree. This is a huge tree. I can picture that would probably be good for making like a tree fort or something because it's got such a large base with those outstretching limbs. Yeah, very cool. It's really nice today. This week is supposed to be beautiful, so you know me, I'm going to be out here getting as much of the sunshine as I can before I've got to hibernate. It says this log cart pulled by oxen or horses eased the job of dragging logs to the mill. For long hauls, a wagon or sled was used. Uh-oh, where is it? I don't see it. Where's the log cart? Again, where's the beef? You can't see the overlook? You got a sign here, but there's no log cart? Come on, get it together. So how cool is that? They cut down the trees on their own property and milled the lumber on their own property and built their own cabin. Just like all my my buddies in Alaska, my obsession with living out there like that, off grid. If I was a little younger, I would love to do something like that, but I ain't getting any younger. So yeah, this place has a certain feel to it. You just feel the ruralness of it, and like it's ancestral. There's spirits here for sure. And I'll tell you, when we get to the sawmill, the last time I was there, I got creep-o'd there. Like, there was some vibe there. I don't know if they slaughtered cows nearby. I don't think it's that. But, no, there was a real creepy vibe in there. And I want to see if I feel it a second time. Come with me, please. Don't make me go by myself. This is cool. Homemade soap recipe. Take 1 hollow log, ash hopper filled with ashes, filter water through ashes to produce lye, add old fat to lye solution, and boil in iron pot. The result, homemade soap. Who would have thunk it? All right. Now, during the season, these doors are open so you can go in there. And the creepiness was felt when I went in there. There's a lock on the door now. I gotta tell you, I still feel creepy. I still feel creepy, and I just heard something in there. I swear to God, I just heard something in there. Probably was an animal, but I'm telling you, there's something about this mill. All right, flipping you around. A versatile mill. This building has 3 sections. The center section houses a grist mill. The wing to your left contains a sawmill, while the section to your right houses a woodworking shop. So the woodworking shop is what's freaking me out. Ed Mabry built the original mill in both editions about 1910. Again, interesting. I'm walking by this thing and I hear something in that building. I swear. I'm creeped by that building. Somebody must have, like, I don't know, passed in there. And not in a nice way, because you don't get the creep vibe from people that transformed into their light body under good circumstances, or at least natural causes. So, yeah. Let's go check out. Let's be honest too, back in those days, your expected life cycle, you're lucky if you made it into your 30s. Like, between the diseases and wars and you name it, you did not have a very long life expectancy. So now, like, you know, we're pushing 80 to 100, but we do it with all these medical advances and medications. But back in the day, you know, there was a lot of loss of childbearing years. You know, a lot of people died giving birth to their children, and then a lot of people had their lives destroyed because you lost children all the time. It's really sad, actually. You know, there just wasn't the resources today that we have for medical things. I mean, yeah, that's really tough, you know, and that leaves scarring on a family. So I'm guessing what I'm feeling here is just the generations of families that came and went here and the losses that they suffered, because you know they suffered. Living up here on this mountain, they suffered. So let's look at this little wagon wheel here. Isn't that awesome? It's one of their carriages. Now, who doesn't think Little House on the Prairie when you see that? All right, here's a plow. I have some very old items my father has given me that date back to the 1800s. A couple neat items. Yeah, this is really cool, I gotta say. Just the history here, you know? I'm like one of those kids. I gotta hang over and see, right? 33 on the timer again. See what I'm saying? What I'm saying? All right. Totally cool. So just a little sneak peek at Mabry Mill. If you ever visit the Blue Ridge Parkway, this is something you're going to want to see. And let's see what other mischief we can get into, because we're just raising the roof now, aren't we? Just fucking with you.